Please permit me to persist on the existing protocol. But having said that, let me still especially recognize the governor, His Excellency Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, in absentia, and ably represented by the Chief of Staff. I'm so glad to be invited to speak on Nigerian leadership and the call for grassroots personalities. But what is leadership and grassroots personalities? I want to use graphics because I know I'm out of class today. I'm in a public place, so I want to resonate with listeners with graphics. And a leader is that lead others. Behind that together form force. You hardly break that. That is the strength in grassroots. I want to say that lead every family, market, in the society, everyone belongs to either or the grassroots, because you have a responsibility to carry out one of them. Next, please. We are talking of Nigerian leadership. We are talking about the nation Nigeria, which is the most populous black nation on earth. And this nation is highly intelligent population. It has high human diversity, rich human resources, fertile agrarian lands, and water resources. This nation that has united people, grassroots, with established grassroots leaders. And we have socially, economically robust nation. I think when I was in the US, and I was talking about Nigeria, I thought the mistake or a favor black nation. You would have been to Nigeria, not Nigeria going to the US, because we have everything in this country. Now, next slide, please. This Nigeria has its history of leadership from the pre-colonial 1800 to 1800, colonial from 1900 to 1960 when we got our independence, and post-colonial 1960 to date. This represents the phases of how leadership took place in the past. And in the post-colonial, you could see the leaders, you can remember their names easily and their faces. And these people, please, next slide, because I was given 5 minutes instead of 20 minutes promised to me. So, in Nigeria, we have had leaders that emerged from the country. We have leaders that came from either military or the political sector. We have leaders that ruled diligently, and we have had their policies. And these policies either improved or retarded Nigeria in some way. And these leaders that Nigeria experience or through the bad, good, and the political leadership, by assessment, are more to the grassroots. They are more friendly to the grassroots. And because of that, the question now is, what is next for this country? Even when we have grassroots, we will have leaders that the grassroots of difficulty. We have box that through these are the of the leaders that ruled in recent time, and that the current president is Tinubu. Every had their policy. In office had some, but that is hard to give at the time. Now we are coming and we are transitioning into another level of a new Nigeria. And I want to believe that this, our country, has a hope. I was trying to see enough. You see, accountability, education is a top priority. Accountability is a top priority. Transparency is a top priority. Even state governors in power, there are so many accusations short until when they wait have him out of power. But in our state, such news never existed. Why? Because he is transparent. He is accountable. These are the kind of governance leaders we are anticipating to take a higher position at the next slide. Now, why do we now think to have people like Amadu Umaru Fintiri? Because he is coming from a background that we all know, a grassroots. He was a town hall meeting fellow. He was a coordinator of local gathering. He was a member elected to the Adamawa House of Assembly. Even in the House of Assembly, he had a very wonderful relationship with his contemporaries, and they elected him as the Speaker of the Adamawa State of House of Assembly. From there, he transited to become the acting governor. From there, he became elected executive governor and re-elected executive. This is an indice of the type of leaders we are anticipating the national role. He is the likes of, in my presentation, I was looking at people like Ibele Jonathan, whose transition was continuous until he became the president of this country. Could somebody say amen for Fintiri here? Now, please, that slide, back to that slide. Sorry, my timekeeper. Yeah, you see, when all of us come together, you will see our hands are all on decks. You will see we will crave for freedom, for peace, which we have in this state. We crave for equity, for dignity, for hope, for love, for education, for prosperity, for justice, for food availability and freedom of speech, even with respect for our religion. These are things that are all over the state of Adamawa. Any nook and cranny you go in Adamawa state, there is evidences of the proofs of grassroots leadership. And this is the evidences of the proofs of grassroots politics we all wish for. Next slide, please.
60 seconds.
Next slide. Who is an exemplary grassroots leader? Next slide. Somebody with resilience, somebody that is accountable, transparent, confident, somebody that is able to inspire, somebody that is positive, somebody that has courage, somebody that can organize all these preambles into a very beautiful narrative because he is purposeful, he has a vision, he is humble, he has creativity, and he has remained focused as indicated in the graphics. Now, he has developed a problem-solving ideal. He identified, he defined the problem, he explored the problem, he takes action. And then he looks back at to reevaluate himself for a better way forward. And by that, he has created a leadership that is empowering people, that is inspiring people, that is leading change in Adamawa State. And as sheer next slide. Now, the kind of our leader, Amadu, is a grassroots politician, and he's a leader who shapes effective governance in the favor of the electorate and the grassroots. And he is a governor that has exemplified such viable grassroots approach. Any successor of Amadu Umaru Fintiri must be like Amadu Umaru. His shoes, his cap must fit him well. Otherwise, you know, it will be very difficult to describe him.
All right, Prof.
Next slide. Now, but we have to recall that this Amadu Fintiri has a transition political cycle. As I earlier mentioned, he started from grassroots and he has gone to up there because of the time. Executive governor still elected. Now I ask the question, next. What is your prayer for him? What next? Then Governor Fintiri's leadership connection with his grassroots. What makes him to succeed? What is the secret about him? Let's see. Next slide. People connect him. Are clapping to even touch his hand. When you see him in the second picture, he connects with the lead. No, back to that slide, please. To that slide. He has road infrastructure. He has medical laboratories infrastructure. He has grassroots century bridges and interchanges. He has
Time is up, Prof.
Yeah, so I think we have to go by what is beautiful. So now this guy has not stopped there. He has come up with agenda, 8-point agenda. It has to do with education, which has to do with security, which has to do with health and human services. I've talked a lot about, my co-presenters have talked about agriculture. He is into urban and transportation, making life easy for people. People no longer pay too much money. This man has made water everywhere and crannies, all the local governments. And when you look at the environment, he didn't neglect the environment. He is all of it. This is the need for national responsibility. Next slide. What makes governors exceptional political leader? Yeah. He has community engagement, political intuition, inclusiveness, decisiveness, empowerment, focus. Next slide, quickly so that I can finish. He influences other politicians. He groomed people. Then the next slide, please. He has set a standard and he has a human-centered ideologies. And then down, he is reliable, dependable, and he is wonderful. Thank you very much. This picture asks for conclusion. The big person coming must be like Fintiri and his shoes and caps to fit him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.